Sunday. I love to relax. Does anyone fancy a bit of a walk round the room? Horatio, how's the novel coming along?
The problem with making things up is that literally anything could happen. My hero could go there, or say this, or jump on that, or simply stay where he is and eat a cake. And perhaps he isn't even a he at all, but a she. Or a chair. There's enough to drive you insane.
God's glory hole!
What's the matter, Jack?
Fiona Coleman's only gone and said yes to James Godfrey. And I was completely in love with her.
Oh. But you'd never met her!
So? She sounded ruddy superb. I'm officially melancholy.
Oh, well, not to worry. I'm sure soon enough you'll find a true love. Perhaps even someone so close to your very eyes that you have failed to notice her.
That's what I always wonder. But who?
Well, I don't know.
Who, Louisa? Who could it possibly be?
What a shame that Alice is wed and Louisa so wildly overaged for a seemly marriage.
Indeed, old pal. What a fine pair of fillies these two are. But one is nabbed, and the other is long in the tooth, like a dearly beloved old horse.
Thank you, Emily.
Emily? Who's Emily? Where's Peggy?
Oh, didn't you hear?
Peggy's dead.
Peggy? Dead?
Dead as a doornail.
But she was alive yesterday in the morning. She starched my shirt. She couldn't have been dead then, could she?
She wasn't dead then. Later, in the afternoon, she died.
Horatio, did you hear? Peggy's dead.
Really? Completely dead? Blimey. Now my Uncle Phil is saying that he's on his deathbed. What a weird day. Everyone's dying. God. Let me send for a new doctor. My lodging mate.
I'm dying, and I wanted you to come to see me because I have something to impart to you before I die.
Right.
Is it a treasure map?
What I wish to impart to you, Horatio, is the observation that you are an idiot.
Not a very nice thing to impart. And I might say, in my defence, I am writing a novel.
Oh.
It's about a man. Or a woman. But not a chair. Never a chair.
Your parents had always hoped that I might take care of your education, but I found you quite insufferable. So I want to make it up to you. Fetch me pen and paper.
Oh, right. You are not a good artist, sir. But a drawing of a sexy lady, no matter how crude the rendering, is always welcome.
What's the matter?
Oh, it's me and Horatio. It used to be this dangerous bohemian, exciting affair. But lately it's like having another husband, one who's not at sea but here, all the time, saying things with his voice and walking around and brushing his teeth and so on.
2 husbands. Terrible.
Yes. Do you know, in a strange, perverse way, I almost envy you, Louisa. No man in your life. You are wonderfully, wonderfully free.
Yes. Free to embroider. As far as embroidery is concerned, I'm free to do whatever the heck I want.
Lovely.
Alice? Louisa, listen. I've been thinking about the new maid non-stop for almost 32 hours now, and I've come to a decision. I feel we need to let her go.
But why?
I'm afraid she seems incompetent.
But, Freddie, I like to have a project and train them up.
Like a monkey.
Exactly, like a monkey.
Or a pig.
Who given a few months, Louisa and I will turn into a monkey in a dress.
Or a human pig.
Right. Well, I don't feel quite strongly about this. I mean, the mere fact of having a woman in a house with 3 male lodgers, it seems inappropriate.
But Freddie, you share the house with myself and Alice.
But a single attractive woman? Excuse me, Louisa, of marriageable age? I mean, do you really think that's appropriate? Of course, for myself, there can be no possibility of distraction, but Horatio and Jack. Of course, they're my best friends in the world, but I would not hesitate to describe them as vicious, degraded animals, as all men are!
Dr. Jack Carlton.
Here to see Mr. Layton.
Yes, this way.
Although I fear he may already be dead. For there is an angel in the hall.
Thank you, sir.
Did I just say that out loud, or merely think it?
You said it out loud, sir.
Right. Good Lord, how I wish we could marry and mate hard like a pair of savages.
Again, sir, your utterance was audible.
It is done. Place them in the desk, would you?
Right. Now, Unks, I'm guessing you've had quite enough of me, and you'd much rather be left in peace to die alone without a lot of fuss.
Before you go, would you just take, yes, this pillow and block out the sun?
All right.
It is so cool and white. Hold it to my cheek.
Right you are.
Press it closer.
Unks, a little concerned about the time. Ah, Jack! Now we'll sort you, Uncle. Uncle? Hello? What's going on? What's he doing?
That's all right. I've seen this kind of thing before. He's dead.
Oh, brilliant! Some doctor you are. The minute you turn up, he dies.
Well, just let me make sure. I saw a colleague use this technique once. If he sees himself, he'll react with surprise, thus proving he's not dead.
Right.
No reaction. What's next? Fetch the bellows. Let's blow some air into the blighter. Ooh, the bellows, the bellows.
This'll be fun. I've always wanted to do this with the bellows.
Well, of course you have. Everyone has. Right, give him a blast. Well, Miss Layton, I have some good news and some bad news for you.
How's my father?
Yeah. I'm worried if I tell you that, it'll make you feel sort of negative about my other piece of news, which is that I wish to marry you, Miss Layton.
Right, I see. And have you spoken to my father? Does he give consent?
Yeah, that brings me on to my second piece of news, which is that your father is, in layman's terms, dead.
Oh, God.
So what do you think?
I'm sorry, about what?
Coy little mouse. About marrying me!
Tea for the ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
Cook's off sick. So I tried to make some of that stuff, but...
What stuff?
The stuff you make with the thing. Mixed up with the other things. And you put in the big, hot... You know. And then you put it in your...
Cake.
Cake. Anyway, it come out runny. So I drunk it.
I'm surprised what's her name is still here, Freddie. I thought I heard you were going to fire her.
Yes, Freddie. Why haven't you fired her?
It's difficult, firing her. And indeed, even discussing it in her... Thank you, Emily. Presence just feels very cruel.
Oh, balls. Firing a servant is as cruel as pruning a rose bush. Or shooting a Chinaman for a crime he didn't commit.
Well, that does seem rather...
She's a crapulist. Be done with her.
Well, that's not necessarily the... Thank you, Emily.
Do it now, man.
I may indeed do it. Very much so. I'm actually going to do it right away.
Good.
About to do it. Preparing myself to do it. But now, unfortunately, it's too late. Drat, it's gone.
So, Jack, just writing to Ma. What was it that put paid to Uncle Phil in the end?
Ah, well, it was an intolerable build-up of malign humour around the anus. Unless, of course, you murdered him, Horatio.
Oh, what?
Well, you did have a pillow over his face.
I was shielding his eyes. I wasn't murdering him, good Lord. Very idea.
I believe you, Horatio. At least, better say so. Unless you murder me. Oh, he wouldn't murder you, or he'd have to murder all of us. Not that that would probably bother him.
Will you shush, you two? Before I murder you.
Oh, look out! The murderer's getting up. Careful, or he'll likely murder you.
All I wanted was to poke the fire for a little more heat.
Oh, well, I was warm enough, though I dare not complain, lest I am murdered.
Why, you...
Oh, no! I'll murder the murderer.
Oh, I feel like doing a murder. I'll murder you, and you, Louisa, you can murder me.
We're merry out of murder.
We're all murdering each other. We're all murderers.
I'm Uncle Philip, and I'm being murdered.
Miss Elizabeth Layton is here to see you, Mr. Jack, sir.
Elizabeth, we were just having a stupid joke about murdering your father.
Right, and what was the nature of the joke?
Oh, just how funny it would have been had he been murdered. Loses something in the retelling.
I can't believe it, Lizzie. We're engaged to be married.
I know, Jack. And with my father's inheritance, I can finally achieve my dream. To be married in St. Paul's Cathedral on Christmas Eve. Heralded by 1,000 Scotch pipers, both of us wearing solid gold hats.
Oh, I'm so excited I could kiss you. If you hadn't made it so clear you find physical contact repulsive.
I just think it should be reserved for its proper place. Procreation. And then, obviously, only through a wood or canvas barrier.
The wood or canvas barrier. I can't wait.
Now, we are assembled here to hear the last will and testament of Mr. Philip Layton. So, it all goes to Horatio. Right. I'll send you my bill, and I think we can call that lunch.
Excuse me.
Blimey. How much do I get?
Well, the whole estate, the house and capital.
Ooh, very nice.
But the will, it's been changed.
Oh, try not to be bitter, Liz.
But I've nothing to live on. I nursed him my whole life.
Perhaps you should have done a better job of it. He did mention the soup you served often tasted a little bland. Skimping on the seasoning, were we?
Horatio, this has come as a great shock to Elizabeth. She had plans, really very detailed plans for what she was going to do with her father's fortune. How would you feel about, as a gesture, giving her, say, half?
Oh, my dear friend, what a lovely idea. What a capital idea. Except, in order for her to have half of what I have, I would have to lose half. Horatio would have less.
Oh, yes, right.
Exactly. Otherwise, everyone could go around giving half of everything away and still have the whole lot. But you can't. If you give half away, you lose half and you don't get to keep as much. And that's obviously the aim of the whole game.
Who invited that vulgar publisher, Honky Lupton?
Him with his fat checkbook and his best-selling crime books. Who invited him? Oh, that's annoying. No, I'm annoyed now. That's really annoyed me.
Horatio.
Thanks for inviting me. Miss Figgis here was just wondering if there was likely to be any murdering going on today.
No. No, I can assure you, you're quite safe from the threat of murder this afternoon. Unless, of course, you've left me anything in your will.
So, Horatio, would you be prepared to tell your terrible tale in print?
Oh, right, I see. Not content with murdering my father, you're going to milk your notoriety with a publishing deal.
Oh, cousin, please. We are talking about the cold-blooded murder of a human being. I could never do that. Or could I?
Very funny. Very...
Hello?
Yes. Emily, apologies for calling so late, but I was wondering whether I might have a word with you.
Oh, of course, sir.
Yes. So, it is an awkward matter I wish to discuss with you, a matter of some delicacy. Your nightdress, Emily. God, no, no!
Not take it off.
If it was undone, do it up, do it up.
Thought you come in for a ride.
A ride? Of course I haven't come for a ride. Why on earth would you say that?
That's what usually happens.
That's horrible.
Not really.
What, you wouldn't think it abnormal if I were just to walk in here and do that with you?
Well, no. I mean, I suppose I would rather go to sleep than be honking on your cream stick till it blows, but I will. Stop from being fired. Go on, give us a waggle.
Oh. No, Emily, there will be no waggling.
Do you want me to snout on your marble sack?
No.
Oh, right. Do you want to meet my brother?
No, no, look, I'm not going to fire you, Emily, all right? You're to remain here and not waggle on anything. I will save you from a life of waggling.
Tom.
So if you wish to give me a chaste kiss of thanks upon the cheek. Face cheek.
Oh, Alice. I think I finally found my vocation. I love being a murderer! I've started writing my book. Look at it. Actual words. The first pages of Horatio Densborough's Memoirs of a Murderer.
Really, Horatio, just between you and I, you didn't. Did you?
Oh, Alice. No, of course not. Or did I?
You're not going to murder me, are you? You wouldn't murder a married woman all alone in her room while her husband's away, would you?
What shall I say? I think I know what you want me to say, but it would be rather distasteful if I got it wrong.
Say you might murder me a bit.
I might murder you a bit. I'm gonna murder you loads. I'm gonna murder and murder and murder and murder you.
They're still playing that game.
My friends, there's something I need to discuss with you. I've just had rather a troubling visit. See, I had a lad into the surgery. Looked like he might be an onanist or possible forger. So I reached for my head measuring calipers to measure his noggin, see what voltage to try, but no calipers. And then I remembered I left them at Elizabeth's house in her father's room. So I went back there and I found these hidden away.
But I thought you said Mr. Layton died of malign anus humour.
Yeah, well, there's always a toss-up between the humour and the poison, but now I am veering strongly towards the poison.
But he boasts of smothering him. Why, if he poisoned him?
Oh, no one wants to be known as a sneaky poisoner, whereas there's the obvious cachet attached to being a glamorous smotherer.
Yes, indeed.
Is that right?
But do you think he could, Horatio, actually perform a murder?
Oh, I'm really going to murder you now. I am definitely going to murder you.
Oh, God, do you think... This is terrible. We could be living with a murderer. He murdered his uncle to get his money. Maybe he's murdering Alice. Maybe he'll murder me. I can irritate. I am a little irritating.
Yeah, sometimes. Look, we need to talk to him. Reason with him.
Oh, do we? I think we should hide and cower from him.
No, whatever he's done, Horatio's our friend. If he is guilty, we need to get him out of the country. We could chloroform him and stow him away on a ferry.
Interesting, yes. All right, how about you corner the murderer, wrestle him, subdue him, chloroform him, all the while being sure he doesn't murder you, and in the meantime, I'll take my chances with the tickets, the paperwork, and all the packed lunches.
Was he murdering Alice?
No, he wasn't murdering Alice.
But what were they doing? Why was he saying he was going to murder her?
It initially looked like he might have been murdering her, but as it turned out, he definitely wasn't murdering her.
Yeah! Killed him! Smothered him with a pillow! Took all his money, gave him a kick in the balls for good measure. What else do you want to know? What's going on?
Yeah, what it is I just bought a brand new handkerchief, and we thought you might like to give it a sniff.
Give it a what?
Smell the handkerchief, Horatio.
It's lovely.
I am not in the business of going around smelling other gentlemen's handkerchiefs.
Yeah, but this one's different, Horatio. It's a real corker.
Smell it, Horatio. You won't be sorry. I smelt it and I felt like the happiest man in England.
Does anyone here know the whereabouts of a Mr. Horatio Densborough?
How may I be of help, officer?
Oh, hello, sir. I'd like to ask you a few questions about the death of your uncle.
Oh, wouldn't you just? Well, you might have to wait and read the book, you great beast.
Yes. You see, a number of witnesses have reported you making public statements, such as, I'm a murderer. I murdered my uncle, and I'd murder him again if he was still alive, which he's not, because I murdered him. Did you, or did you not, commit a murder?
Oh, come, officer. Aren't we all, in our own way, murderers? Yeah.
No.
Look, he's just being very, very witty. He didn't murder anyone.
Mr. Densborough, you're a gentleman. If you tell me you didn't do it, there'll be no trouble. But if you confess to being a murderer, I shall arrest you and you'll hang by the neck until dead.
Very well then, officer. In that case, no, I did not murder my uncle. Or did I? Oh.
Can't believe it. The gallows!
Can't bear to watch.
Aye. Morning all. Has she swung yet?
Oh, for God's sake, Horatio.
Your cousin is about to be executed. How can you be so cruel?
Don't talk to me about cruel. I've lost the book contract. Hey up, here she comes. Look at her, sauntering up in her prison smock. She's loving this. God.
Fiona Coleman's taken. Elizabeth is about to be executed. Why does this always happen to me?
I'm so sorry, Jack. But when I realised that Elizabeth was poisoning her father's soup to get her hands on the inheritance, I felt I had to tell the police my suspicions.
Yes, that was kind.
Well, I am kind. Extremely kind.
Oh, God, they're putting the noose on. Why can't they do something nicer, like sink her in the ocean or lock her out of sight and let her starve somewhere?
Hold! I have news! News of a royal pardon! Only kidding. Let her swing!
Hardfire and Ash head the late night music at 11:35 in tonight's transmission with T-Mobile. Next on 4, prank calls are all the rage with the phone jacker.